What's up everyone, Tommy with Studio Sins here. Hope your day is great so far. Today I'm just kind of taking it easy with this video. This is kind of one of those wishful thinking videos. It is my wish for certain fragrance designers out there to bring back some of their more iconic fragrances that they, for whatever reason, decided to discontinue. Discontinuing men's fragrance is one of those hot button issues that when we think about it, we can always think of at least one fragrance that we wish would come back or wonder why they even discontinued in the first place. So that's the subject of today's video. 7 fragrances that I wish designers would bring back. That and more is coming your way, so stay tuned. Welcome back everyone. Today's video is a wishful thinking video. I wish that these 7 fragrances, 7 fragrance designers would bring back these iconic fragrances because there's really, like, whatever reason, we didn't see, what went on behind closed doors, whether it was budget cuts or the creative director had differences with the person who created the fragrance and blah, 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 whatever. We don't really care. We just know that on the front end, we no longer have those fragrances. And they're awesome, and they were awesome. And if you happen to still own them, you are a lucky dog. And most people are like looking at the eBay and Amazon prices and going, what the heck, I could never afford that. So I'm gonna give you my 7 fragrances that I wish still existed or would come back. Compare it with your own wishful thinking list and see if any of them match up. The very first fragrance that I wish would have never been discontinued in the first place, but I wish that they would bring back, is a Gucci fragrance. It is the now infamous Gucci Envy. And yes, if you own Gucci Envy, you are the envy of many guys out there. And of course, a lot of guys have never smelled Gucci Envy and don't really know what they're missing. It's got a heart of carnation, jasmine, rose, and sandalwood, so very floral heavy heart, with a base of leather, patchouli, vanilla, and vetiver. Gucci Envy has to be one of the best fragrances, at least fragrances that were produced years ago, that is one of my favorite aromas or colognes today. I still have a little vial of the original Gucci Envy, and I don't want to use it because I know that I'm gonna have to save up for the real deal if I want to get it, because it's going to be very expensive. Come on, Gucci, bring back Gucci Envy, please. Even if you reformulate it and get close to it. Even fragrance houses like Dua, coming really close to matching fragrances, they created something called Dua Covet. Personally, I don't think they've come even close to matching the real Gucci Envy. So that's one that I definitely wish would come back. The next fragrance that I wish would come back or had never been discontinued in the first place is a Christian Dior fragrance in the very popular Fahrenheit line. It is Dior Aqua Fahrenheit. What a great citrusy aromatic cologne for men Aqua Fahrenheit was and is. It opened with grapefruit, mandarin orange, you've got basil, mint, and violet in the heart. In the base, a little bit of leather and vetiver. Again, a super refreshing take on the Fahrenheit DNA. Wish that it was still here. Please, Christian Dior, consider bringing it back. Again, even reformulating would be acceptable, but definitely wish that Dior Aqua Fahrenheit would come back. The next fragrance that I wish was still on the market or would come back, in fact this entire line with the exception of a few, and that is Fan de Fendi Pour Homme. I have a few of the original Fan de Fendi, but Fan de Fendi Pour Homme was their pillar fragrance, and that's kind of what got them more attention and more buzz about the design, about the presentation, and the quality. Pour Homme had bergamot, mandarin orange, and basil in the open, had a heart of cardamom, pink pepper, geranium, and Texas cedar, rested on a base of leather, tonka bean, and patchouli. Pretty much carried that vibe of a mature man's fragrance with just a nod towards more of a growing into a modern kind of profile. So had a little piece of the future built into the DNA, but also a remembrance of the past. It rode that fine line between retro and modern fragrances, and again, I wish that it would come back. Fan de Fendi Pour Homme. Another incredible fragrance that was just absolutely masterful that I wish would come back. It's still out there, but it's really expensive, is by Van Cleef & Arpels, and it is Midnight in Paris. An incredibly wonderful, seductive, sexy, masculine fragrance for men. Just like the name leads you to believe, it's a great nighttime fragrance, but just an overall wonderful signature scent. It was a floral heavy fragrance that didn't come off floral. It opened with rosemary, bergamot, lemons, a little bit of spice. Van Cleef & Arpels did a great job on Midnight in Paris, and I think that's probably their best release, not only just the original Eau de Toilette, but the Eau de Parfum as well. Back in the day when Justin Timberlake broke free from his boy band, and he went independent. Actually, he'd been independent for a little while. He was the face behind this fragrance by Givenchy that I wish would come back, and that is Givenchy Play Intense. I personally really liked the Intense version of Givenchy Play. It was just heavier, longer lasting. What an epic fragrance Givenchy Play Intense is and was. It was one of the few fragrance formulas that made use of coffee blossom, a heavy dose of citrus in the open, coffee blossom at the epicenter, and a base of vetiver, labdanum, patchouli, and tonka bean. Givenchy Play Intense was targeted toward a younger audience, but it appealed to absolutely every man. And even though Givenchy has released some pretty epic fragrances in the last several years, I wish they would bring Play or Play Intense back. Another fragrance that to this day people are wondering why they ever got rid of it, because it was such an epic scent and is an epic scent, is a fragrance by Guerlain. It is Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Cologne. L'Homme Ideal Cologne was many people's first foray into the wonderful world of Guerlain, and in specific fragrances for men that are almondy, lemony, fresh. It was probably the first and best mix of almond and lemon in a fragrance. Fantastic spring and summertime scent, very unique in the aroma, very long lasting, great performance. Orange, bergamot, almond, neroli, vetiver, and musk pretty much comprise the entirety of the formula for L'Homme Ideal Cologne. Was lucky enough to get a backup bottle of it back when you could get it at rack stores 3+4 years ago. You could find it everywhere in rack stores, and now it's really hard to find at a good price anyway. But definitely wish they would bring back, even though they've got L'Homme Ideal Cool and lots of other L'Homme fragrances, Guerlain has yet to create something that smells specifically like L'Homme Ideal Cologne. I wish they would bring it back. The very last fragrance I wish that they would bring back, because a lot of guys haven't even had an opportunity to smell this. And if you own a bottle, you know exactly what I mean. It is a unique take on tobacco-oriented fragrances. It is Versace Man by Versace. Back in the early 2000s when this was released, it was more of a mature man's, kind of like an older version of Versace DNA. It was Versace's mature answer to fragrances like Eros. It opened with bergamot, angelica, neroli, black pepper, with a heart of cardamom and saffron, and in the base is where you get that amber, that cashmere wood, that labdanum, and tobacco. Versace Man rides that fine line between dark and light. It has a nice smoky background with enough resins to hang your kind of olfactive hat on, as it were, to be just an all-around daily versatile wear signature scent. And it's a great fall scent as well. Again, super versatile, doesn't matter what time of year, you can wear Versace Man. If you like that overall mature kind of tobacco fragrance, you would love Versace Man, and I wish Versace would bring it back. Well guys, that's my short list. There are a ton of discontinued fragrances that I wish the designers had A, never discontinued them in the first place, and B, wish they would bring back. Even a reformulation would be acceptable. Well, what about your list? Share in the comments below some fragrances that are discontinued that you wish the designer would bring back. Whether it's designer or niche, doesn't matter. Whatever your favorites are that you long for the days where you either used to own it or you don't own it, but you've smelled it and wish that you had it. Thanks so much though for stopping by and checking out today's video. And as always, thank you so much for your support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.